Should Ukraine just wave the white flag? Should we just try to negotiate to make peace? Or why is the peace movement wrong about Russia and Ukraine? So in recent days, there have been renewed discussions about Ukraine and Russia and our support of it, of Ukraine's effort to survive. Even Pope Francis, well, he's been criticized for that, but he said that, well, why doesn't Ukraine just wave the white flag and start to negotiate? Well, it is a good question, but here's the answer. We have seen that Russia's aim is not territory. It is a destruction of Ukraine and of the democratic West. NATO is not a threat. Democracy is. The stability of our democracies is a threat. Now, you may think our democracy is not perfect, that the United States and the West in general also aren't perfect and they've done bad things. Yes, certainly. This is not about that. This is about Russia having attacked Ukraine starting in 2014. Actually, before that even, pushing the election of a Russia-friendly president, an election that was fraudulent, which is why the Maidan happened. So the coup that people like Tucker Carlson talk about wasn't done at Maidan. The coup actually was Russia pushing Russia-friendly politicians on Ukraine because they were threatened of democracy. This is why for decades now, Russian propaganda, as a continuation, oddly, of Soviet propaganda, has worked to destabilize democracies, not just in Ukraine, but around the world. To Putin, the very existence of Ukraine as a separate entity from Russia is an aberration and offense. His actions, his war has shown this. This is why he bombs Ukrainian civilians and civilian structures. This is why in Russian-occupied territory, Ukrainians are killed, tortured, raped, and their children stolen. You don't do this if you want to negotiate. You don't do this if you just want territory. You don't have your propaganda people all the time call Ukrainians who want to be Ukrainians Nazis. Russia is not interested in peace. It's not even interested in the peace of Ukraine. It's interested in all of Ukraine as Russia, not as Ukraine. So while Russia pretended to negotiate in Istanbul, it committed the genocidal massacres in Bucha, Irpin, and other cities. This is why the negotiations ended, because people found out. And it became clear that Russian intention as regards to Ukraine has nothing to do with territory. It has to do with genocide, with the end of Ukrainians as a people. This is all still going on, and every bit of territory that Ukraine has to cede to Russia has people killed, tortured, raped, and their children stolen. This is going on. It needs to end. We need to understand there can only be peace with a Russian loss. And Putin is also a threat to Russia. He is the biggest traitor to the Russian people. He is destroying Russian economy, turning it in a war machine, killing Russia's future. Even before that, he destroyed Russian economy by making it only focused on resource extraction. He is not a friend of Russians. Russians are forced to support Putin because the alternative is what happened to Navalny, what is happening to people like Litvinenko, to Nemtsov, what is happening right now to Kara-Murza and many, many others. You don't see many demonstrations on the streets because people are scared. But the few demonstrations, the few supporters of the opposition you see, these are extremely courageous people. There is a better Russia out there. The better Russia can only come to fruition with Russia under Putin losing. And in fact, Russia has already lost. We need to continue his loss sinking in. Ukraine is winning by still existing. We need to help it win for real, and for that, Putin must lose. Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Philip Kneiss. This is Erratic Attempts, and see you soon.